Hey everybody, it's Brian with ProjectorScreen.com, and today we're shining the spotlight on the new Epson QL7000 4K laser projector, a true powerhouse for massive screens and bright rooms. Priced at just under $30,000 without a lens, this beast delivers jaw-dropping brightness and a feature-packed experience. You can read the full review with our measurements, charts, and recommended settings on our blog, and the link will be in the description below. We gave the QL7000 4.5 stars for performance, 4.5 for features, 4 stars for ease of use, and 4 stars for value. So, let's dive into why to earn these scores, then fire it up to see it in action. Are you ready? Let's light it up. The QL7000 is a 3-chip, 3 LCD projector with a laser light source rated for over 20,000 hours. It's built for huge screens or rooms with high levels of ambient light. Now, while Epson advertises it at 10,000 lumens, we measured it at around 20% higher at its brightest, hitting nearly 12,000 lumens in dynamic mode and over 9,000 lumens in calibrated to the D65 in cinema mode. On a 110-inch Stewart Film Screen StudioTech 130 screen, it delivered close to 900 nits for stunning HDR and bright scenes. Powered by Epson's QZX 32-bit processor, the QL7000 handles tone mapping, motion processing, and upscaling with ease. Unlike the QB1000, it does not have the ultra-black technology for enhanced contrast, but its brightness makes up for it in medium to bright scenes and gives it tremendous HDR handling. You will, however, need to buy a lens separately, which does also allow for a wide range of installation and throw options. And if you're unsure of which lens you need for your installation, don't hesitate to contact us here at ProjectorScreen.com for expert advice. For connectivity, you get 2 HDMI 2.1 40 gigabit ports supporting 4K at 120 Hz, plus a USB, LAN, RS-232C, and a 3.5mm audio jack. The input lag is a very low 20 milliseconds, making it solid for both casual as well as competitive gaming. HDR10 with dynamic tone mapping is on board, which adjusts its brightness and detail on the fly. However, it does not support HDR10 Plus nor Dolby Vision. Unboxing the QL7000, you'll find a backlit remote, power cable, removable top and rear cover plates, and a setup guide. The projector comes in white or black, and the top plate can be swapped or painted to match your decor. Now, this projector is certainly not a lightweight at 46.5 pounds, but with its chassis being only 22 by 22 by 7.5 inches, it is compact for its power. It uses only 636 watts with a standard 110 volt receptacle, so there's no special wiring or power supply needed. Cooling is handled by a side intake fan with 4 profiles tied to laser power. They're super quiet from 0 to 30%, low from 35 to 60%, medium from 65 to 80%, and high from 85 to 100%. Now, even at 30% laser power, it delivered over 245 nits on our test screen from about 16 feet away, which easily hits the SCR's 100 nit standard with minimal noise. The brightness was a standout from the start, especially in HDR scenes like Aquaman 2's sunlit shots, where in-scene contrast and vibrant colors popped, even with full screen brightness. There are 4 picture modes available, and we measured the dynamic mode at 11,719 lumens, vivid at 10,481, cinema at 9,925, and natural at 9,338 lumens. Now, for the best color accuracy, we suggest sticking with cinema mode for HDR content and natural mode for SDR. The motion handling on this projector is top-notch. Testing with Baby Driver's fast-moving city scenes and Planet Earth 2's panning shots at a native 24 Hz, the QL7000 showed its smooth, artifact-free performance with the interpolation turned off. Adding interpolation introduces some soap opera effect, even at the lowest setting, but it's still clean until the highest preset. Sharpness and super resolution settings at 2 gave crisp, detailed images without artifacts, despite the 4K resolution being pixel shifted. Contrast, however, is a trade-off for the high levels of brightness that this projector produces. We measured the native contrast between 1913 to 1 and 2322 to 1, depending on the lens zoom. Dynamic contrast boosts this to 7,270 to 1 when using the lights out control setting at 20%, or at over 300,000 to 1 when that setting is at 0%. However, the 0% setting sacrifices some of the shadow detail. Color accuracy shines after calibration. In natural mode for SDR and cinema mode for HDR, simple 2-point white balance adjustments delivered excellent results. Now, out of the box, the lower laser levels add some blue shift and shift the gamma, but corrections brought grayscale and color checker errors to near reference levels. Still, skin tones and bright colors in Aquaman 2 and Planet Earth 2 looked vibrant and natural, with minimal posterization in most scenes. Dynamic tone mapping didn't add much value in our bright setup, unfortunately, matching static tone mapping at around 790 to 1000 nits, even in high APL scenes like Fantastic Beasts' 4000 nit dragon sequence. For larger screens or lower laser levels, the dynamic tone mapping is much more useful. We'd love to see Epson tweak the DTM for more flexibility, which is possible via a firmware update in the future, potentially. All right, so now let's see this thing in action. We've got the QL7000 projecting onto a 110-inch Stewart Studio Tech 130 screen. With the lights on, check out the brightness. Those Aquaman 2 colors and sun flares are popping like a giant OLED. Now, lights off for a theater-like vibe. Mixed contrast scenes like Planet Earth 2's landscapes hold up with vibrant warmth, though darker scenes show the contrast limits. Dynamic contrast and lights out control keep things looking punchy. So, to wrap it up, the Epson QL7000 earns its 4.5 star rating for performance without a doubt. It is a beast of a projector for massive 180-inch plus screens, as well as very well-lit rooms, or HDR with TV-like impact. At over $30,000 with a lens, it is not cheap, but nothing else matches this light output and feature set in this price range. For darkroom, contrast-focused setups, you may want to look elsewhere, but for big, bright, vibrant projections, the QL7000 is in a league of its own. Once again, you can read the full review with all of our measurements, charts, and recommended settings in our blog, and the link will be in the description below. So, I want to thank you for watching, folks. Hit that like button, subscribe, and visit ProjectorScreen.com for more information on the QL7000 or anything audiovisual. Have questions? Drop them in the comments below. This is Brian, and once again, I want to thank you all for watching, and keep on projecting.